The installation of the master consists to transfer target into your server. So here, for example, we have already transferred version 1.5.21 into a directory that is a subdomain of JMS2Win. So here we have JMS2Win demo and master. So the domain is master.demo.jms2win. So once the transfer is done, we used SSH connection to connect on your server, and in the directory where you have uploaded the Joomla package, you first unzip the package. When this is done, you extract all of the files. You go with your browser on the domain master.demo.jms2win.com. You try to connect, and you will receive the installation from Joomla. You enter the parameters. Don't forget to specify a table prefix, and in general we change the value. Enter a title. Put your password. Save. Joomla asks you to remove the installation directory. In our case, we will just rename the directory to login into the admin. Okay, once you have your master installed, you can now install JMS Multisite. So we selected the component, upload. This is a huge package, so sometimes you may encounter problem with your timeout or maximum upload size, but if this is okay, directly it reach the end. When you have a problem concerning the timeout, you can try change a parameter in your php.ini to increase the timeout or the upload size. JMS Multisite is only required on the master website. So when you have that, you can register the extension. So this will redirect to your Joomla JMS Tobin website. You enter your login and your password, and automatically this will be recorded and returned to your environment. You have successfully registered your environment, and it proposes you to check the patches. So here you have a set of files that need to be patched. You install, and now you have created your master website. As JMS Multisite needs only to install on the master, that's all. You don't need to install or reinstall JMS Multisite in the slave, only on the master. So now that you have that, you can start to create your first slave site. So to do that, you have different possibilities. You can create websites with different domains or subdomains or subdirectories. Here we will show the case of subdomains, and we use here in the demo a cPanel configuration. So we will connect on our cPanel and we will set up the subdomain. So here we are connected on our environment. We go in the subdomain, and in fact to create the subdomain, for example, we will use slave 1, and we have created an environment concerning the demo. So we will use also a naming convention that is the one that you can find in the tutorial video 0.b slide 24. So in fact we will use something like master demo JMS to win, and in fact we will have something like demo subdomains master public. This is what we will do in the cPanel. So here in cPanel we are in the subdomain slave 1, and we will use a path that is totally different. So domains jms2win.com, subdomain demo. Here we have again a subdomain slave 1 public HTML, and create. Once it is created, you can use it. Here you can see in subdomains the definitions of each subdomains that we have created. So the master, slave 1, slave 2, where you have each time the subdomains here, demo subdomains, that is a subdirectory of the demo itself. So you have slave 2, slave 2 public, slave 1, and here we created the master. So now that you have all the domains available, you can create your first website here. That is a very basic one, but if you want to improve the facilities and the setup, we recommend to create a rule that defines how to create the stuff. So here, for example, we will propose to create a fresh slave where we will just prepare a generic rule. For example, we will say that site ID is a keyword that we will use. Demo jmstowin.com are a constant, and they will be deployed in a specific directory, and the generic rule will be what? Will be something like this rule, but in fact the variable parameter is the site ID, the subdomain. So you can generate the rule to simplify the things. You can also decide to set up few things, installations that we renamed, we can ignore. The other stuff, if we create a fresh, we need to install the directory. If you want to share the templates or share the image, you can use a special copy. To see the different variables of templates and conditions, you can have a look in the tutorial video 0.b slide 34. Here you can skip, you don't need to replicate. If you want, you copy the htaccess and this one. So concerning the template directory, as you can see, you have three cases. The case where you have a full sharing, in this case you use the action special copy. If you want to have a full copy, you put the action copy. If you want to be able to install, uninstall special templates inside the template directory, you can have a partial sharing. In this case you use special copy, but you also specify something in the template folder that is in general deploy directory. This is what you can see here. So templates, action, copy, special, and if you want to have facility to change it, you go in command and you put here deploy templates directory, and you have the three cases. Here in my case we will share and have a full sharing of the templates. This is the idea. When you have that, you can now create your slaves, and you can say slave 1, slave 2. So you can use the rule that you have created and say slave 1. Don't enter anything because everything is defined in the rule. So it's okay. We don't replicate the database here, is the purpose. It's just to create a fresh website. You don't have specify anything, just save. Now you have a slave 1 that is created. Now you can go on the slave site. There, this is a fresh website. You receive a new installation. So continue. Okay. Don't forget to change the table prefix. In general, we are using the same prefix than the site identifier. Put a title, for example. Okay. As you have already installed JMS Multisite on the master, it's not required to remove because if you remove from the master, and you will not be able to install new one. So you can directly connect on your slave, and you can see that you are on slave 1. Okay, login. And we are connected on a slave that does not have JMS Multisite installed, because on the slave you don't have to install Multisite. Only on the master you need JMS Multisite. Okay, so now you can create your articles and you can work as usual, create your menu and so on. When you want to install an extension, be careful that you need to install all the extension on the master before. The reason is that you have to consider the master as the repository or library containing all the extension of the application. This is what we have illustrated in the tutorial video 0.b slide 21. We really explain that the master is a repository or library where you install all the extension. And the reason is that we consider also for security that we have to install JMS Multisite in a specific place, because the security of a website in fact is the security of all component extensions that you can have in your website. And the strength of a chain is the strength of the weakness element of a chain. So this element decide of the security of the whole chain. If you just need to install very few elements in a slave, the slave will be stronger and better than the master. So in general, for us, we consider and we recommend, but you can work on a public website also, but we just recommend to not use the master directly and create a slave site to be public, and just here put all the extension, because sometimes you have slave sites that require a small extension that is less secure than the other one, and why give a penalties for a public website just due to the fact that you need to install it for the other website. So now we can repeat such operation to create a slave 2 if we need, or we can create a replication of an existing website. So here, if we refresh now, you can see that the slave 1 now contains the title of your website, the description of the database, and you have the link. So let's suppose now that you want to replicate, for example, this website to create another one, or replicate the master to create another one. We have prepared a second website with the same rule than this one. So in cPanel we have defined the slave 2, and for example, if you want to replicate a website, you can create a new rule to say, okay, I want to replicate the website. Let's suppose that you want just to replicate a website using more or less the same rules as the fresh website. I can say create a new rule like this one, and I will reuse all my previous setup. I can change the name, and for example, this is a frequently asked question, how to replicate the master. For example, you have a website that you want to replicate. Okay, the rule is the same here, and what you want to replicate in input, you want to provide a specific website. So in fact, a template use the concept that is explained in tutorial video 0, that is a mechanism that allows to copy website from one place to another one. So in fact, you have something like a copy machine that is the template where you will define the rule, and in fact you can use a specific website in input, apply a specific rule for its modification, either from the back end and the front end. Here we are using the back end, and for example, you can copy the orange website. Let's suppose this is the master, to create a new website in output with another name, with other parameters. So, and we use the rule. So this is what we will do here. We will say, okay, create a master or replicate a master. Rule to transform is, okay, use this domain name, and in input tray, in the input of your copy, use a site as a template. And you want to copy which one? The orange or blue website and so on. Here, for example, let's say I want to replicate or use in input here in input, I want to use this website to create in output another one. So I want to use, for example, the master. Okay, the rules that I have set up for the slave before or the fresh website is still the correct, but as I use in input a website, I can change different parameters. If I want to replicate into another database, I can provide a new DB, new user, new password, and if I want to keep the same DB, okay, but just change the table prefix, I will use my rule or generic rule that say use a site ID, that is a keyword that allows you to modify the parameter dynamically. The other parameters that correspond to the folder are more or less the same that what we did for the fresh, but we don't need the installation, so we can ignore this one and everything is okay. If in the future you want to also create a website with sharing facilities, you can go in the sharing tab and select how you want to share the tables. This is what we explain in the concept of sharing. You have in fact sharing of the files or directories on the disk using symbolic links. So you have symbolic links and sharing the files on the disk. And when you want to share the MySQL table, you are using facilities to share the tables. Okay, here. This is what is also explained in the technical document, where you can see the different cases, common folder sharing and sharing extension, where you decide how to replicate a directory structure from input to output, and how to share the tables. This is what we repeat here again with a set of keyword and action that you specify how to, for example, replicate the directory structure here, and how to create the template to reach this one that give more detail on how to replicate the template directory. So here we will not share anything, we just want to have a basic replication, and we have defined our rule. Once the rule is ready, we have now a rule that consists to copy from this website using a new table prefix. So we have a summary information here. We can go in manage site and we can create a new website that will use this rule. So for example, slave2, because we have prepared subdomain, and we will use the rule that consists to replicate the master. Everything is prepared. We just have to provide a JMS demo, something like sleeve 2. Okay. So now we have a website that is a copy using exactly the same information. And we can go on sleeve 2 and we have our sleeve 2 that is a copy of our master. If we go in the administrator, we have everything, including JMS Multisite that is not required, but we have a copy of our website. Directly we have to uninstall Multisite, and we have different possibility to manage the things from a central point. We can go in the tool, and for example here you can see that we have a sleeve one that is a fresh website, but you see that we have created a sleeve 2 that is a children, if we can say that, of the master. So if we want to see what we have on the sleeve 2, we connect on the sleeve 2. There we can see all the extensions that are installed, module, and so on. You can see also the MySQL tables. Here we have created a physical copy, so all the tables are real table. And for example, if you want to uninstall something, you can say okay, uninstall. Okay, this is performed, and you have now a sleeve 2. If I refresh the sleeve 2 and I click on something, the menu disappears. You can go also in a demo, install and uninstall, and uninstall from the slave, and this will be the same result. We just show you the tools because this is a central point where you can have different elements. So for JMS Multisite, this is done. Let's suppose now that you want to install other component. You can, for example, install the article sharing. Okay, this is done. So you register just okay. And now you have the article sharing that is installed and that you can use in your different website. If you go back in the tool, you will see that it's not present. So if you go in sleeve 1, you can see that the article sharing is not installed. If you want to install, you can install it in the sleeve 1, for example, and based on the master. So it has copy everything from your library, because the master is a library. If you want to do it in the sleeve 2, this is also possible. So, okay. Let's suppose that we want to create an article here in the master and that we want to display it in a slave. So we will create, for example, a special section, something that we can see in our tutorial. We have illustrated this case. What we will show you here, this is this concept to share article between websites. So the idea is to be able to select articles coming from other websites. This creates a specific menu, And the idea is to create a national article section where we will put some articles that can be displayed by the other website. So here we will create a section, for example in the master, but it can be in any website, a new section. National articles, whatever. So you do as you do usually to create categories and so on. We will create a category that is national sport, for example. National sport. Okay, that will be present in national articles. Why not? So now we can create a first article that we will put in the national sport. Master article 1 that we will put in national. This is a national sport article 1 coming from the master. Okay. So we have the article created. We are in the master. Let's suppose that you want to display this article in slave 1. Here we create a multi-site article that is more or less the same that this one, so sections are very similar. The difference is that we have a new parameter. Let's suppose that we want to display, for example, a category, and we want to read the info coming from the master category, for example national sport, and we will call that national sports, for example here, and I will add a keyword to let you identify it. Okay, save. And now if we go in the front end, we have our national sport in slave 1 that we can display, and we see that we have the article sport article coming from the master. You can do that for any website, so you can, as soon as you have installed the article sharing in your website, you are able to read any site, so you can select the article that you want to read from any website. Be careful when you create links inside an article. If you put a link to connect on another article or put things, provide a link that is either a multi-site article link or give a full link, because sometimes if you put a relative link inside an article, of course the link may not be resolved by the slave because the link is relative to the current website, so you could have errors on the link. So create a real link and correct links between article. The same if you want to put an illustration or an image, ensure that you have the image that has a correct path, that is an absolute path containing the HTTP something. And be careful that some tools like JCA or other may automatically clean up the HTML, so the image could be more or less corrected. We can present also very quickly a multi-site menu item. So with the multi-site menu item, you can create a bridge from something to another one. So for example, let's suppose that you want to connect in on the master here, connect it to the items that we have created in the slave one. You can use multi-site menu item and you can create the bridge with the slave one. And here in slave one, you remember we have created a national sport. So here we will say display something from the master that uh, is computed based on the slave one. So uh, national sport displayed in slave one. And now you see that you are connected in slave 1. So you are redirected automatically in slave 1 and no more in the master. So here you see the menu of the slave 1 and you see that you have the bridge to connect from one to another one. And here you are on the master. This is another sample. You have also extension for search. You have also an extension for the contact that use the same concept. So you have the same concept as the article sharing here. And you can also create a display of the contact information that is, for example, stored in a specific website. So now you have the contact. Let's suppose that you want to display contact in a slave one that is coming from the master. This is possible like we did for the article sharing. So first things is to install the contact. That is not yet installed. So I install it in slave 1, and now if I go in slave 1, but first I need to create a contact. I think it requires a category, so head office, for example. Central, why not? Secretary, secret. Just a fake info, alias. So here we have created a contact in the master, and if we go in slave 1, we can create a menu, again like national sport, that not read the contact locally but read remote contact. So you can collect the info and say read the contact that is present in the master. Okay, and after that so master contact, for example. I don't remember where is the preview. you have the central information and you are connected and you remain on the slave one. So you display, like for the article sharing, you display the contact coming from something else. So that you can have a library or a directory with all the contact of a big company, and for each branches or each dealers or whatever, you can have a specific website where you read the info coming from another website, and you can centralize the info. What we That is also working with Joomla 1.6. Contact is working 1.6, and multi-site search is working also 1.6. So they are delivered with three parts: category, content, and sections. Okay. So when this is done, you have new set of plugins that you can enable, and that will add facilities to search in different places. And you can select for each website the list of sites in which you want to perform the search. And you have different facilities also to decide how to compute the link. If you want to redirect to another site using the full URL, or when you have an article sharing, to say, okay, use the article sharing link so that you remain on your current website. And you can select all, for example. And when you are on the master, as a master is not a website where you have a URL, sometimes you need to replace the keyword master. So here in our case, the master is master.demo.jms to win. So when we have set up the environment, you can perform search. We can do that for the other one. Select all, for example. Also replace master.demo. And now you have the possibility to perform search across website. This required to put a module to perform the search. So let's suppose that we want to do that in a specific website. So new module, search, that is a standard one. Okay, Joomla search, why not, just to know the stuff. For the moment we have no articles created in slave 1 or slave 2, so let's create a fake article here. We have no article, so I will put a keyword that will be easy to identify. Slave 1 article. This is a slave 1 article that can be searched. Okay, so when done, we can go back in our master, preview, and we see different articles with the keyword art, and you can see that we have slave 1 article that is present. We have master, national sport, master, so it display with section. When you have the master that is computed, you see that I have master demo that is replaced, and when I have slave 1, you see that you have the site that is also displayed. And now you are connected on your slave 1 article, so you can perform the search across the website. And as you can see, this works for section and categories. I think we have now an overview of the different possibilities that you have, and there are new functionalities that will come in soon. We continue continuously to provide new features. Thank you for your attention, and enjoy with JMS Multisite.